بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Rehan Hassan. Today, I wanted to let you guys know about a story that I heard many years ago. And till this day, this is an amazing story that I've always wanted to tell. I always want people to hear this story and benefit from it. And now, alhamdulillah, I have the opportunity to let you guys know. And you guys can find this, inshallah, the story online, also in much greater detail and better explanation. But inshallah, still, I hope everyone benefits from it. And the story is narrated by a person by the name of Abu QUDAMA. And just to give you some insight, Abu QUDAMA was a Muslim general around the 10th century, and he used to lead armies to defend the Muslim borders from invading forces. He was very well known and respected. And one time he was sitting in the masjid, and a couple of young people, they came up to him, knowing who he was, obviously, and he said, "Yeah, Abu QUDAMA, tell us a story. Tell us something that happened, in your many expeditions and everything, that will inspire us, inspire you, increase our deen, increase our faith." So Abu QUDAMA, he was quiet for a while, and he said, "There is a story, there is an incident that till this day I have no idea how to comprehend it." And the story goes that Abu QUDAMA says that there was some news that their invading force was coming. So we gathered up the army and we, marched to that area. And while we were approaching the area, we stopped in a town, a village near there, and we decided to stay the entire day there so we could gather funds and maybe try to recruit some more people. He said, we were all there trying, all day trying our very best. And at the end of the day, we were able to get some funds and very few people to join us. He said that night, I went to a hotel or whatever they had in those times and retired for the night. And in the middle of the night, I'm awakened by a knocking on my door. And he is shocked himself, Abu QUDAMA, because he said, I'm just a passerby. Who's coming, who knows me, who's knocking at my door in the middle of the night. And when he opened the door, he found a woman standing there. And the woman asked, "Are you the one who was asking for recruits and all that? Are you Abu QUDAMA?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And the woman handed him a pouch, a pouch, and then she ran away. And when he went inside, he opened up the pouch. Inside the pouch, he found a letter. He opened the letter, and the woman had written that, "I heard today that you were looking for recruits and you were looking for funds to sponsor the army. And unfortunately, as a woman, I cannot go in the army, and I don't have many funds, and I don't have a lot of wealth that I can donate. The only thing I can give you is this lock of hair that I've cut off from my own hair. And I want you to use this lock of hair as a rein for your horse. Use it, when you're tying all that." And Abu QUDAMA, he was so touched by this, he was so moved by this. And of course he used that rein for his horse and everything. But in the end of the letter, she said, "Tomorrow I will send you someone who will be of great use to you." And so Abu QUDAMA, the next day after the Fajr prayer and everything, they left the army, they left the town, and they started proceeding to where they had to go. And as they were walking, they hear a voice in the faint crowd, "Yeah, Abu QUDAMA, yeah, Abu QUDAMA, wait up, like, hold on." And they turn around and they see this someone on a horse in the shining armor and everything. He's galloping towards them at a very fast speed. And Abu QUDAMA is wondering who this person is, right? Who could this mysterious person be? And when the person got close, he had his helmet on so you couldn't see his face. He asked Abu QUDAMA, "I want to join you and you guys in the army. I want to go defend the lands of Islam, right? I want to do jihad and everything." So Abu QUDAMA asked him, to take off his helmet, see who it was. And he said when he took off his helmet, it was this young, handsome boy. And I'm talking about young, I'm not talking about like 20-year-olds. It was a young teenager, like before say maybe like between 12 to 15 years old, very young teenager. And Abu QUDAMA, obviously, when he saw the young kids, he's like, "You're too young, go back, you shouldn't be coming with us." And the young man, he kept on insisting, "No, I want to to be part of this army. My father, he also participated in a war, and he passed away, and as a martyr. And I also want to fight in the war. And Abu Qudama kept on rejecting. He said, no, but my mom told you about me. And he said, who is your mom? She said, she is the woman who came to you last night. And Abu Qudama, when he heard this, he said, if that was your mom, then go home and take care of her. Right? Because he was obviously moved by what her mom did, so he would want her son to take care of her. He said, no, please, let me take care of her. Let me join the army, let me, and all that. And Abu Qudama, after a while, he said, fine, I'll let you join us, but on the condition that you have to be in the very back of the army. Like, you have to stay all the way in the back, and you will be in charge of all the supplies and everything. Right? Like, there's in the army, in the war, in the olden times, there were people who would fight, and there were people in the back, taking care of the wounded, providing supplies and everything. So he had him to be one of those people. So the young man, even though he wasn't happy, he said, fine, I'll do it. So then they continued on their travels, and one custom at that time for the armies and all that is they used to fast a lot. Because they're going to be traveling anyway all day, so it's easier for them to fast and also get the extra reward. And once they settled down for where they're going to be for that night, young Muhammad, he used to have a habit of fasting one day on and one day off. It just so happened that day he was not fasting because he had fasted the day before. So he told Abu Qudama, let me take care of the food, the dinner and everything. I'll prepare it. Abu Qudama was reluctant, but he said, I'll take care of it. I'll make it. I want to get the good deeds, right? Making food for the soldiers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they said, okay, just make the food in a little distance, right? Because they didn't want this food smell coming and making them hungry. So he went and started making the food, and after a while, the people started noticing that it's been taking some time. Where's the food? They should have been here by now. And it's been they said reports it's been like an hour or two. So Abu Qudama, he goes to see where Muhammad is, and he comes to the scene where the food is being boiled and everything, and young Muhammad, he fell asleep right next to the pot. So Abu Qudama was like, maybe he was tired from all the day, it's fine. He didn't get angry, of course, and he said, I'll let him rest and I'll finish it, whatever's left in preparations. So he was cooking the food, and Abu Qudama, he kept on looking at Muhammad. And in Muhammad, he was dreaming in his sleep, and he kept on smiling and smiling. Even at one point, he even started giggling. And then all of a sudden, because of some ruckus, he woke up all of a sudden, and he found Abu Qudama, making the food. Young Muhammad, all of a sudden, he gets worried, like, I'm so sorry, all that. Let me finish taking care of the food. Abu Qudama said, no, I'm not going to let you finish. And he said, no, please, let me do it. I really want to do it. I'm sorry and everything. So Abu Qudama said, I would let you finish under one condition. He said, what is it? He said, you tell me what you were dreaming about. And all of a sudden, Muhammad, the young man's name was Muhammad. I didn't mention that, sorry. He was taken back. He was like, no, please, I don't want to mention it. He said, fine, and I won't let you prepare the rest of the food. Eventually, young Muhammad, he said, I will tell you, but you have to keep this a promise between you and me. Abu Qudama said, very well, go ahead. He said, I was dreaming, and in my dream, I saw it was the day of judgment. And every single person was standing, waiting to be judged. And all of a sudden, I heard a voice come up from out of nowhere and said, grab Muhammad and take him to Jannah. And this young, handsome man with light, so much light and everything came and approached me. And he grabbed me. And he took me to the gates of Jannah. And he took me inside. He's like, and I asked him, who are you? He said, I am one of your servants. Allah has decreed for you in Jannah. And he took the servant. He took him to his palace. He took him to his house. And the servant said, I cannot go any further because you have women waiting for you inside. And young Muhammad, he walked into his house, his palace in paradise. And he found these women. They're coming to him. They're grabbing him. They're smiling and everything. And he's like, who are you? Right? Like, who are you? And he said, we are your servants, of your palace and everything. And they took him to a room. He's like, what's in here? Inside is your wife. The servants told him the inside is your wife waiting for you. And young Muhammad, he entered, right? Inside, he found the most beautiful woman standing there. And Muhammad, he was so shocked, and he was like, are you my wife? He's like, yes, I am your reward. from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you kept yourself pure, you didn't have inappropriate interactions with other people, you were a good Muslim, and all that. So I am your reward, I am your wife in paradise, and I will keep you company. And young Muhammad, he wanted to get closer, he wanted to touch her, and then she would, gently put his hand away and say, not yet, not yet. Our meeting is not today. Our meeting is tomorrow, inshallah, when we will break our fasts together. And this is the part when Muhammad started giggling and all that, and then eventually he woke up. And this was the end of his dream. So the next day, it was the day they were going to start the war with the invading forces. And Abu QUDAMA, he instructed Muhammad to stay in the back. However, as the war started, and it started getting serious, Abu QUDAMA noticed that Muhammad was in the front of the war. He's in the front lines. And he could tell right from right in there, because Muhammad had told him from before that I have experience in fighting in wars, I fought in many wars, right? But from what Abu QUDAMA saw was that Muhammad did not actually have any experience. And he tried to reach Muhammad, he tried to get him, tried to save him, but because of all the chaos and everything, he lost his sight. Eventually, alhamdulillah, the Muslims were victorious in that battle. And afterwards, Abu QUDAMA is going around trying to find Muhammad. They're looking at the dead or the injured. And he's yelling, has anyone seen Muhammad? Has anyone seen Muhammad? And all of a sudden, a small voice comes, Ya Abu QUDAMA, Ya Abu QUDAMA. And Abu QUDAMA turns and he sees young Muhammad lying there, fully clothes filled with blood and everything, scars and injuries. Abu QUDAMA comes to him and is like, what were you thinking? You didn't have any experience. Why didn't you stay in the back? He said, my father, fought in jihad, and my mother raised me, in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Abu QUDAMA realized that Muhammad was going to pass away. And Muhammad, he turned to Abu QUDAMA and he said, I have a favor to ask of you, realizing that he was going to pass away. He said, I want you to tell my mother that I have passed away, of course, but tell her that I am in Jannah with my father, and inshallah, that the son she raised to be this great person, she will be with me and my father in Jannah, inshallah. He also instructed Abu QUDAMA to take a part of his shirt that was covered in blood and give it to his mother, because his mother wouldn't believe him at first that her son had died. He also told Abu QUDAMA that he had a young sister. Her name was Fatima. She was in reports maybe say she was 6, 7, maybe or like a very young age. And he said she adored me very much, she cares for me. And when you tell her that I passed away, be careful, because I fear that it might be too much for her. And Abu QUDAMA said, I promise I'll do everything. And right in Abu QUDAMA's hand, Muhammad, he started giggling and laughing a little bit. He said, Ya Abu QUDAMA, Ya Abu QUDAMA, Mardiya is with me. The wife he saw in his dream, her name was Mardiya. She said, she is with me, she's holding on to me, she's taking, saying she wants me to go with her, inshallah, so we can go break our fast. And young Muhammad unfortunately passed away in the arms of Abu QUDAMA right then and there. After that, the army went back to that village, and the people of the village came out to see the soldiers find their loved ones. And then Abu QUDAMA saw Muhammad's mother standing in the distance, and he went to her and told her that Muhammad had passed away. And just like as Muhammad had said, she wouldn't believe it at first, but Abu QUDAMA, he gave her his shirt. He told her that what Muhammad had told him, that inshallah she will be with him and her husband in Jannah, inshallah. And in the distance, that Abu QUDAMA, he saw a young girl, beautiful young girl, going from one person to another. Have you seen my brother? Have you seen my brother? Right, and Abu QUDAMA realized that this must have been Fatima, Fatima. And he went to her and he said, your brother Muhammad says salam. She's like, do you know where he is? He said, well, he's in Jannah and everything. He's like, in Jannah, did he pass away? Because Muhammad had promised his sister that he would return. He's like, Abu QUDAMA said, yes, but he's in Jannah, he's in a good place. He said, I couldn't even finish those things. And the young girl, she took a deep breath in, and she passed out and she fell on the floor. And the mother of the daughter, she came and grabbed her daughter, and they took her to her house. And Abu QUDAMA, he ran after them, he started knocking on the door, like to let him in and everything. And the next thing he heard was the mother saying, Ya Allah, my husband has died for your sake. My son has died for your sake. now my daughter has died. I ask that I be with them, inshallah, and keep them on the right path. And QUDAMA said after I kept on knocking and knocking, but she would never open up the door, and eventually I left. He said, till to this day, I have no idea what happened. Again, this is a story I hope you guys can benefit, inshallah, and you can spread the story around. It just goes to show you that age, strength, it doesn't matter. If you have that teachings and that drive, anything is possible. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم وللمسلمين فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. السلام عليكم.